Today on Public Eye News, Iron Mountain man pleads guilty and cold winter slows DNR fish stocking operations.
Later, I'll be back with your weather forecast, and Jillian Wormlinger has an update on sports. Hi, I'm Mason Walls.
And I'm Jillian Wormlinger, and this is Public Eye News. An Iron Mountain man has pleaded guilty in court to child porn and home invasion charges. Scott Grubb was charged with second-degree home invasion, using a computer to commit a crime, and 3 counts of capturing and distributing pictures of unclothed minor children. Yesterday, Grubbs pleaded guilty in Dickinson County Circuit Court. Grubb was arrested August 13th. The incidences were revealed to police on August 12th of 2018, and Grubb is scheduled to be sentenced on May 7th. And the Michigan Department of Transportation, or MDOT, is investing $20.5 million to replace both the US 2 bridge over the Escanaba River and the Escanaba and Lake Superior Railroad Bridge over US 2. Due to weather conditions, work on the project has been suspended for the season. Lead-in work is expected to resume on the bridge in May, weather permitting, with paving scheduled to begin June 1st. The project is expected to be completed in early July.
Due to this winter's extreme cold temperatures, the DNR's fishing stocking has been delayed. The normal stocking season begins on April 1st, but it has been pushed back a week and a half. Officials say even though they are behind, anglers do not need to worry. DNR hatchery biologist Jim Aho said the fish will be smaller than when we have a warmer winter, but in the long-term aspect, the fish will do fine. Officials will begin stocking downstate in Pontiac on Monday, but do not have their date set for the UP. In 2017, more people died from drug overdoses than from car accidents in Michigan, and now the Great Lakes Recovery Centers are trying to lessen opioids' grip on the community. The center is now using a treatment called medication-assisted treatment, known as MAT, which works by blocking the effects opioids have on the brain. There will be a community awareness summit concerning opioids and MAT at the Holiday Inn on April 10th from 6 to 8 p.m. in Marquette. Great Lakes Recovery licensed practical nurse Pat Suist said it's important for the community to understand that MAT is more than just trading one substance for another.
Wednesday night, Marquette City staff met with the public to discuss proposed changes to Lakeshore Boulevard. The purpose of the forum was to educate the public on the Lakeshore Boulevard project, which would see the street raised 5 to 6 feet and moved as far as 100 yards inland. The project was approved by the public almost a decade ago. Phase 1 of the project will involve moving the road inland and building shore armor, which will cost just over $4 million. Phase 2, which would cost more than $8 million, has yet to have any funding secured. Planners are hopeful they will receive grants from FEMA or the Army Corps of Engineers. The public came to the meeting with plenty of questions and suggestions, and city staff hopes they will stay involved throughout the project. And work on the proposed tunnel to house the Enbridge Line 5 pipeline came to a halt when Governor Gretchen Whitmer ordered all state agencies to postpone work on the fix. Environmental groups remain hopeful that the governor's declaration will be the first step in a complete decommissioning of the pipeline, which runs under the Straits of Mackinac. Whitmer's decision comes after Michigan's Attorney General Dana Nessel called the proposal unconstitutional, with the initial proposal approval originating out of Governor Rick Snyder's time in office. And after the break, we'll be back with your national and international news.
I'm a journalist, and I'm traveling across my home country, Canada. Join me on my adventure as I discover what each province and territory has to offer.
Saturday afternoon at 4:30.
Welcome back. Federal officials say they may restrict salmon fishing off the West Coast to help critically endangered killer whales in the Pacific Northwest, and 2 environmental groups are suing to try and ensure that it happens. The Center for Biological Diversity filed suit 2 decades ago to try and force the U.S. government to list the orca whales as endangered. Yesterday, the Wild Fish Conservancy asked the U.S. District Court in Seattle to have officials reconsider a 2009 finding that commercial and recreational fisheries did not pose a threat to the orca's survival. The whales that spend their summers between Canada and Washington state have went from 85 to 75. And Democrats are putting new pressure on President Trump. 3 different House committees are looking into several topics, including the president's tax returns and the Mueller report. Natalie Brand has the latest from the White House.
We are pleased to be joined by
President Trump took part in a White House meeting Thursday about investing in America's underserved communities. He did not address reports in the New York Times and Washington Post that some investigators on special counsel Robert Mueller's team believe Attorney General William Barr left out important details in his summary of the report.
The people that have been involved in this process, they've wasted 2 years of their life, and they need to find a way to validate it. They've lost in 2016, they lost on the collusion battle, and now they're looking for any and everything they can to continue to attack this president.
The House Judiciary Committee has now authorized subpoenas for the full report with no redactions. Meantime, House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Richard Neal cited a little-known tax law to support his demand for 6 years of the president's tax returns. He also wants returns from 8 other Trump businesses.
We have repeatedly pointed out that this is about policy and not politics.
But the president does not appear ready to comply.
until such time as I'm not under audit, I would not be inclined to do that.
The committee chairman wants the tax returns by next Wednesday, but the White House is likely to launch a legal challenge that could potentially take years to resolve. And Democrats are also scrutinizing the security incident last weekend at Mar-a-Lago. The House Intelligence Committee requested a briefing from the Secret Service following the arrest of a Chinese woman who tried to gain access to the president's resort carrying computer malware.
The German state of Bavaria is set to accept a plan by environmentalists to save bees and protect biodiversity. In February, backers of the plan collected nearly 1.75 million signatures. It would set aside space to protect insects and banish many pesticides from a third of Bavaria's agricultural land. Leaders of Bavaria's two governing parties said yesterday that they would back the plan in the state legislature. And new details on the Ethiopian plane crash that killed 157 people last month. Authorities say the jet was in good condition and the flight sensors were not damaged. CBS's Ian Lee has more on what happened inside the cockpit before the plane went down.
Ethiopian investigators say the pilots of Flight 302 repeatedly followed Boeing's emergency procedures but couldn't regain control of the plane.
It is recommended that the aircraft flight control system related to the flight controllability shall be reviewed by the manufacturer.
The preliminary report reveals a sensor malfunction triggered the MCAS anti-stall feature on the 737 MAX shortly after takeoff. The pilots followed procedure and turned off MCAS but could not regain control. They appeared to take the unusual step of turning the system back on, deviating from guidelines. The anti-stall system reactivated, pushing the plane into a dive. The plane hit speeds up to 575 miles per hour before cockpit data recordings stopped and it crashed into a field.
An emergency like this, that MCAS software is a monster. It comes in quick, it comes in firm, and it has a very aggressive nose-down limit.
The FAA and Boeing told pilots after last year's Lion Air crash in Indonesia that deactivating MCAS and taking over manually should be sufficient to prevent disaster. Boeing is now working on a software fix.
It sounds like there may be more things that are going to need proper review before we can take on this aircraft confidently as we did before these tragedies.
For now, Boeing's entire MAX fleet remains grounded until the FAA declares the planes safe. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
And after the break, we'll be back with your weather and sports. Stay tuned.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
These remains are those of a young female. Somewhere there surely must be parents. Let's give them their child back. Wake up, Mum. What is it? They think they found her.
The investigation into Hayley's death has been reopened.
We've all done stuff we shouldn't have.
DCI Cass Stewart and DI Sunny Khan.
You're a disgrace. There's something I need to tell you.
Unforgotten on Masterpiece Mystery.
Sunday night at 10 on Public TV 13.
And welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Mason Wallace with a look at your weather. As you can see behind me, the snow is starting to melt on our academic mall, so make sure you get out there and enjoy that sunshine. Moving on to our current conditions. Currently, it is partly cloudy with a temperature of 34 degrees and winds east at 9 miles an hour, with a barometric pressure at 30.48 and falling. Looking at tonight, it's going to be snowing with a low of 31 and winds south-southeast at 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a high of 49 degrees and winds south-southwest at 9 miles an hour. And looking across the UP, pretty sunny all across. In the eastern half of the UP, it's 36 degrees up in Sault Ste. Marie, 36 in Manistee and Escanaba, 37 degrees down in Menominee, 40 degrees and sunny in Iron Mountain, 42 degrees and sunny in Ironwood, 37 up in Houghton, and back here in Marquette, it's 34 degrees. Let's take a look at your week ahead. Saturday, expect a high of 45 and a low of 38 and PM showers. Sunday, a high of 51 and a low of 39 and some showers. Monday, a high of 45 with a low of 31 and partly cloudy. Well, Julian, as we see, the temperatures are starting to heat up, and I hear some of our former NMU hockey players are starting to heat up.
Right you are, Mason. 3 NMU hockey alumni made strides in the American Hockey League yesterday. Goaltender Atte Tolvanen earned his first career professional shutout with the Syracuse Crunch last night in a 1-0 victory over Belleville. Tolvanen, who has been with the team since March 22nd on a contract for the remainder of the season, stopped all 34 Belleville attempts in the victory. It's Tolvanen's second win in 3 games played for Syracuse. Elsewhere, Adam Rockwood has signed a 1-year contract with the AHL's Springfield Thunderbirds for the 2019-2020 season after spending 4 games with the team on an amateur tryout contract. In those 4 games, Rockwood has recorded 1 goal and 3 assists for 4 points, helping the Thunderbirds offensively. Troy Loggins also received his first glimpse of the ice for the Grand Rapids Griffins last night after signing a 3-year contract with the Red Wings AHL affiliate back in March 20th. Loggins recorded 1 shot in last night's 3-1 loss to Ontario. And the Detroit Tigers escaped New York with a 2-1 victory over the Yankees last night to win the series 2-1. Gordon Beckham knocked a leadoff home run to right field to lead off the top of the 8th inning, giving the Tigers the lead. Matthew Boyd started on the mound for Detroit, fanning 13, while allowing just 1 earned run. Shane Green closed the game out, striking out 1 and notching his 4th save of the season. The Tigers are now 4-3 on the season and are currently playing in their home opener at Commeria Park versus the Kansas City Royals. And in the NBA, the Detroit Pistons fell to Indiana 108-89 in a game with critical playoff implications with 4 games remaining in the regular season. The Pistons currently hold the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. However, Brooklyn and Orlando sit just a half game back, while Miami is on the outside looking in ninth place, 1 game out of a playoff spot. Andre Drummond led the Pistons with 28 points, 19 rebounds, and 3 assists in the losing effort, while Wayne Ellington had 24 points. The Pistons visit the Oklahoma City Thunder tomorrow at 8 p.m. And with that, that's all the time we have for you today. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here for more Public Eye News tomorrow.
Northern Michigan University Public Television. The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.